Good afternoon to everyone. Thank you. So at the outset, I would like to thank you and the Institute and all of you for having invited me here. It's a great honor and privilege. My association with this institute goes back for many years when we started right from the grassroots, from the basement of this, and how this institution has been built up. I'm coming after several years, except I received an award about 5 years back. I don't know why it's not been mentioned, madam. So, I think I should include in my CV. It's yes. And it's an honor again, to be here after several years and to meet youngsters like you. At the outset, it's apart from my profession. I have been in this profession for more than 4 decades. Which profession I'm in? People's profession. Okay, so whether you call HR, whether you call IR, whether you call personal administration, whether you call human capital, you call anything, and nomenclature has no meaning. I think as a business school students, you should be aware that nomenclature has no meaning beyond a point. So I have got an experience of more than 4 decades. I have not changed my name. I have not changed my profession, but one company where I worked for nearly 3 decades, I changed its name 4 times. Okay, you understand what I'm saying? Either Horlicks Limited, HMM, SmithKline Beecham, GlaxoSmithKline. What is it I want to say? I think this current landscape is very dynamic and very fast changing. If you want to succeed, you need to cope up with the change. What was yesterday may not hold good today. What is good today may not hold good tomorrow. So that's number one. And one aspect, which I had said, nobody has asked me to say anything. They said this is a new team. Just induct them and share your experience for 20 minutes or so. I said, fine, I'll be happy to do it. Please be aware. First, let me congratulate you for having joined this institute. I think, you should feel proud that you have achieved something in your life. This is a stepping stone towards your career. Whether you do self-employment, you do join a corporate, you do civil service, you do business, you do anything. But this is the stepping stone. Education is always a means to achieve an end, and itself creates certain value systems within you, which makes you a better citizen. So I think it's important where you join, how you have been groomed in those 2 years is very important in shaping your career for the future. So please be aware of it. And secondly, one should be proud with what you are. You should be very proud of your alma mater. Ultimately, what it gives you a career, if you see it. You have chosen it, be proud of it. Don't think twice. I think be focused. One thing I tell you in life, because when you see that I work in Max, I'm very proud to be associated with Max for 7 years. I worked for 29 years with GlaxoSmithKline, which is a long tenure. Still, I'm on the board of the company, so my association is with 35 years with that. But I learned a lot from all these companies, including my career. I started as a management trainee of DCM way back in 1971. It itself has given me a lot of value systems. I think you should be very proud of alma mater, where you pass out, whether you are school, college, or where you are employer. If you are not proud to be associated, you will never have that passion to do well. I'll give you one example. In SmithKline Beecham, you used to do a global survey. Once in 2 years, global survey across 130,000 people we had at that time. And there used to be 20 questions. There used to be one question. The question is, are you proud to be associated with SmithKline Beecham? Can you believe globally it's not like India? People are very honest. If they feel they don't like it, they will give negative marks. Can you believe every time, once in 2 years they do it? For the last 10 years, always score used to be more than 92, 93% on that question. May not be in all questions, right? Some questions they say policies are not good, communication, the culture, there are so many factors. But this question, and the board of directors used to be very particular about this question. You know why? This question determines the commitment of your employees to the organization. Are you proud to be associated? Whether you work with this company or leave the company, you will be goodwill ambassadors of that company. Similarly, as long as you serve for 2 years, you learned a lot, both in terms of culture, values, systems, processes, learning, knowledge in your area of domain. It will help you to get a job. It means to achieve what you wanted. But then, you will be goodwill ambassadors of this institute, and so on in the life. So I think it's important. If you don't have a passion, don't do anything. If you want to have passion, do it well. There is no via media. It's a very competitive environment. Landscapes are changing. Today, what it's been is, a leader is one who cope up with change. A manager is one who manages complexity. Only processes, you're doing results. Short-term results have no meaning. Ultimately, you have to achieve the long-term goals. So you need to have a short-term goal. You need to have a medium-term goal. You need to have a superordinate goals, which may come later. So it's important in life. You need to have that value-based systems. I'm not giving you a sermon. This is not a moral science class. But I think, it's in the current context where landscape is changing. Everybody thinks world is a village, globe is a village, world is flat, right? So it's only geographically political borders you have. But where you can be in a multinational company sitting in Tughlakabad, running a global organization. You need not be in Paris, you need not be in London, you need not be in New York or Singapore, Hong Kong. Those days have gone. What is it? This is what it is today, global environment. Technology and the human capital had made this possible. So I think, this is you need to have a global mindset, but you need to think locally. You understand? I think, global mindset, what do you mean by global mindset? You see, earlier if you say multinationals, you used to talk about Anglo-American companies, be it Glaxo, be it Levers, Pfizer, P&G, and so on, Microsoft, IBM. But then you have Japanese, you had Korean companies. But now Indians have become multinationals. You have Tatas, you have Mahindras, you have Birlas. So you need to have a global mindset. You can't think like an Indian when you think about an American employee. You need to have a global mindset. That is most important. Unfortunately, sometimes we have plenty of people in India, but you don't have a right kind of people. That is what I want to focus on it. What does it mean? This 2 years PGDM would help you to refine your concepts, build your knowledge, and provide you to help you to do your job skillfully when you get a job. But there is a gap between capability building, what the industry wants, what the business school teaches. Sometimes there is a gap. I think, that gap you need to build yourself. How it is possible? You may be a great guy in terms of your marketing skills, your financial skills, but you don't have a right attitude, you will never be able to succeed. This is what the emotion quotient. If you ask me as a recruiter, I have recruited for many years, right from 1985, I've done it for more than 3 decades. I think fundamentally you need to understand what is that industry wants from you. Industry wants you have a sound domain knowledge. That itself will not help you to get a job. What helps you to get a job is the right fit for that company. This is the culture fit. How does it varies from company to company? But do you have that adaptability of having that emotional quotient? I don't want to talk jargon. What do you can you relate to people? Do you have the social skills? Do you know how to feel what other man is feeling about these feelings and sentiments and empathy, aware of yourself, what weaknesses you have and how to address them. If you think because you have done a PGDM from institute, you are a Viscat, you will be mistaken. You need to have that emotional quotient with you. I think that's what, while you're developing your domain knowledge, be it marketing, be it finance, be it strategy, be it HR, I think it's important for you, number one, message I would like to give, what industry look for. It is not just the domain knowledge, but the way you deal with people, the way you conduct yourself, these are the most important. So, try to be first a good citizen. Number 2, then try to be a good corporate citizen. I think, this is the second step which you need. What do you mean by the corporate? This is where, what is the business or the industry they need, and what is it you have, and how do you complement it? It's not a rocket science. Don't think you see that everything is honky-dory other side. But I don't want to give a pessimistic view. It all depends of half glass full or half glass empty. If you think it's half glass full, you will be successful in life. This is what the positive disposition you need to have. This is the second point. Think positively, think optimistically, say, I can succeed, provided if it's fair, reachable, stretching, but not daunting. That is the most important aspect in life. Have a smart goals. Be specific, measurable, attainable, realistic, and time-bound. But you need to be realistic about it. You can't just aspire to become a HR director or a marketing director, you pass out. But becoming a director is not the issue. Are you trying to become a good professional? Are you learning the tricks of the trade in the right sense? Are you getting the nuances of the business? Are you understanding the culture of the organization? These are the most important aspects in the first few years of your career. Once you get in, you understand the business, understand the processes, understand the people. Rest of the things is not an issue. It's a walkover. But I think to understand them, it requires a lot of perseverance, willpower to do it. You will be reading, I don't want to talk about theory, and your professors will be teaching to you. There is a great book which has come, Good to Great. It was done based on a research. It's now about 7-8 years old, maybe 10 years old. But it was written by a great writer, Jim Collins, based on research. He talked about one thing. The higher you go up in life, be aware of it. Success should not make you feel drowsy. The moment you think success goes to your head, act funny, then your career is gone. I think the first and the foremost is humility. The higher you go, you need to have humility. You don't have to display all the time that you are a director of the company. If you are a director of the company, others should respect you. You should not keep on saying, I'm a director. Nobody will listen to you after that. There is a difference between a personal position versus a positional authority. Positional authority will respect you only as long as you hold that position. After that, nobody bothers to come and ask for opinion. That is not a good, that means you are not a good leader. That means a guy, when you leave this organization, when you leave this institute after 2 years, if your younger batches try to contact you and try to get some tips, that means, you have been recognized that you have achieved something. This is what personal influence. Lot of people think that because they have a position, people have to listen. You think they listen to you, but they are not listening to you. They are paying attention to you, but there is no active listening. You understand? There is a difference between listening and active listening. They pretend they are listening to you, but they are not really listening. Because you are the director, you are because of the professor, they are nodding their head, but they don't have any respect for you. That is not good professionally. When you move up in ladder, you need to be respected for your personal influence, how you impacted them as a leader, how you can contribute to their development. That is the most important. You see, the higher you go up, now you are staying, somebody needs to mentor you. At some stage, you need to mentor others. And at some stage in life, again, there will be reverse mentoring can take place. I learned a lot in last 15 years. I was just sharing with them. So last 15 years more from my youngsters, because this is a different Gen Y. You have a different approaches. So I think, you need to listen to both sides. Everything because of my age and authority. It doesn't mean that I'm a master in everything. I may not be knowing many things even about HR. I might have put in 40 years service, but I need to understand from a young professor or from a student what is the modern concept. Telling people that I don't know this is nothing wrong with this if you don't know. But pretending that you know it is very harmful. You understand? I think, that's... And third, I just want to say, the higher you go, it started, journey has started. Today for you, journey has already started. The moment you stepped in, your career in terms of corporate or business or self-managed businesses all started. You are an entrepreneur on his own right. But I think it's important, please bear in mind, you need to take a lot of decisions in life. I think one thing which I would say is art of tough love. You know what it means? Tough on issues, but soft on people. Unfortunately, in our country, we do not exhibit this. Everybody, we want to be goody-goody. We say something in public, we say something in private. I think that will not hold good any longer because it's becoming more transparency. Why RTI has come? Why, social media has come? You can't curtail for long. It will reveal somewhere, Earlier, do you think all these scams used to come out so easily? Because of RTI, because of social media, all that. I mean, sometimes people take advantage and make it a different level. But that's a thing which we need to manage it at some stage in life. So it's important in the changing world where transparency is very important. You be a good corporate citizen in terms of ethics and governance. It goes without saying. Ultimately, please remember, means are not just important, but his end is also important. You see, sometimes, you get the results, but means are poor. So you need to understand the end is important, but how do you achieve that end is also very important. If you don't have a good means, that will not be resorted. I'll give you one example. In Max or GlaxoSmithKline, if you say you have to achieve a target, it's important how you achieve the target also. It is not just producing results. If you are achieving targets is against the values of the company, you will not be encouraged to stay in the company. So I think it is important. When I say art of tough love, what it means is you have to take some tough decisions in life. But when you're taking decisions, how you treat that person is very important. Somebody's performance is an issue. You need to address that performance issue. You can't say, oh, you're doing well. Then I said, why you are removing me? You understand? I think, people will say, you have to be removed. When you call that guy, he said, oh, Dwarka, you handle it. I will not be there. I said, why? I think, this is, if you feel convinced, justified, you've given opportunities to him, you need to tell him it will help him in future for that person, or you give a counseling. I think, it's important in life. Sometimes you need to take a tough decisions, but the way you communicate, deal with it, you should be transparent, open, consistent, and uniform. If you have those principles in life, whether you do sales, whether you do marketing, whether you do HR, whether you do operations, whether you do strategy, you will succeed. The other aspect which I want to say is you think about, you have strategy. I think strategy is very important. I hope there's no OB professor on strategy here. I think, strategy is important. But, there is a saying, culture eats strategy for breakfast. You understand? Culture eats strategy for breakfast. I am not saying Peter Drucker has said it. What is important, what I am saying all through, that's why I just want to repeat, please don't think I am giving a sermon. This is not a moral science class. But I think, please remember, the culture is nothing but the way we work and the way we live in institute. So what is the culture of this institute? You will figure out. What are the values you have in this organization, the set of beliefs you follow. I think if you have the right culture, then you can fix the strategies. If you don't have the right culture, you will not be able to have a consistent strategy. Strategies keep changing because you don't have a specific mission and the vision of an organization. I think it's important that you need to have a mission and a vision organization. I'll give you one example. When you're talking about the mission and vision, you will understand what I'm saying. Max is a 30 years old company. We used to do telecom, Hatch Telecom. We used to have a bulk drugs. We have specialty films. We have ITES industries and all. In 2000, they had a visioning exercise. The chairman and the board felt that we should change our focus. Then they said, we are in the business of social good. We are in the business of life. We care for life, so healthcare. We protect life, life insurance. We enhance the quality of life, health insurance. We said this is our life, so we will confine to these businesses. It sounds very nice, it's on paper. Is it reality? That's what they've done. They have disposed of all other businesses and they focused on healthcare, life insurance, health insurance. These are the three businesses we are focusing because it's in line with your mission of the organization. We are in the business of life. Anything related life we want to be. Similarly, if you take GlaxoSmithKline, it says that our global quest is to improve the quality of human life by enabling people to do more, live longer and happier and healthier. It sounds very, nice statements, but is it realistic? You know one thing? Because of the statement, they have disposed of, have you heard about Brylcreem? Brylcreem was a Smithkline Beecham brand. It's a cash cow, Yardley talcum powder. And people it used to be a great product, but they disposed of because by clinical trials, they cannot prove that can enhance the quality of human life. So they disposed of all those products, whether they are making profits or not. I think that's important. Making profits or not, that this is not aligning with the mission of the organization. So they changed. So I think, mission and the purpose for which you work for, what you want a personal mission has a lot to do how you want to progress in your life. So I think you have to bear in mind. Last but not the least, change. We're talking about change. Landscape is changing. Number one, organization is hero. If you want to succeed in the changing world, you agree? Organization hero. What do you mean? Have you heard about Jack Welch? Anybody? Jack Welch was a big CEO of GE for many years. He was not the hero. Hero was GE. He was one of the key players. If you think that you are more than the organization, many people help the institution to build, but they are not the heroes. Always heroes is the organization. If you think the individual is hero, one day he may disappear. I don't want to quote, but it's very unfortunate. Ruzi Modi has done quite a lot for Tata Steel, but he thought he was bigger than the company, but he did not survive. So that's what, in a changing context, it's important. Number two, winning attitude. You need to, if you want to succeed in life, you need to have that personal resilience to succeed. Have you heard about Sudha Chandran? Here, what is a personal mission? Let us convert into a management case. What is a personal mission? Sudha Chandran? To want to become a dancer. That is a personal mission. What happened to her? She had met with an accident and her leg was amputated. What should she do? Still she pursued her career to become a dancer. And she used artificial limb and then succeeded to become an artist. That's what, it could be an extreme case, but that is the personal mission. Take in sports, Andrew Agassi, world number 1, became 144. He changed his habits, he was in trouble, personally. Then he said, I want to become number 1. He not only became number 1, he married Steffi Graf. So I think, that's what the personal mission. Take, Tiger Woods, for personal reasons. He lost his ground, but he recouped. I think, everything in life is not honky-dory. Everything doesn't go as you think. Sometimes you may have succeed, sometimes you may have failures, but you need to take on, learn from failures, learn from your success stories, learn from past experiences, and try to build on. That's what, it makes life. We do not think about it because you're not born. But the guy whom I admired for personal resilience is Tiger Patadi. He was a great batsman. He would have perhaps become the greatest batsman in the world. More than Tendulkar and perhaps Gavaskar, had he not lost eye when he was starting his test career. At the age of 21. Just before that, he lost his eye. Can you believe with one eye he became a world-class batsman still? He was seeing 3 balls when the balls were bowled to him with one eye. And he became an India captain and very successful captain. So I think, first, organization hero. Second, winning attitude. Third one is, especially important for you, team learning and sharing. I think if you want to succeed in life, GlaxoSmithKline says, we don't want Nobel laureates, we want team players. For a drug discovery, you need 10,000 people. It takes 6 years to do it, 7 years to get FDA approval. But if you think that one fellow gets the glory for discovering penicillin, one fellow got from Glaxo Nobel Prize, but it doesn't mean what happened to others. If nobody other works, he will not be able to succeed. But it doesn't mean everybody get Nobel Prize. You understand? Team learning and sharing, especially in a management situation, unless you are a team player, you will never be able to succeed. I think the team learning and sharing, don't think, if I share with him, I'll lose it. No, you're doing a mistake. You compete, healthy competition. But team learning and sharing, when you have an information which is required by other for the benefit of the organization or for the institute, if you don't do it, I think you're doing a mistake. Unfortunately, in India, we suffer from this. No two players would like to play together. We are all boxing, wrestling, shooting. You see, everybody's single. Except cricket. No two players, tennis players, if they had played together for years, they would have been world champions for many years, Lender Pesh and Mahesh Bhupati. But they never worked together because ego. You see, what I said, be humble, humility and professional will are very important to succeed in the leadership. Fourth, strategic communication. Communicate to the right people at the right time, at the right place. Communication is very important for management. If you are suffering from lack of communication, I would personally suggest, please make yourself self-develop or seek help to do it. There is nothing wrong in it. Everybody's mother tongue is not English. All of us got our mother tongues differently. Some people have the advantage of studying in the English medium schools right from childhood. Some do not have it. Doesn't mean you will not be considered. But I think when you go for an interviews or a placements or a group discussions, unfortunately these are being decided in the current context, though I keep on saying it, I don't accept it, but I'm also a victim of it, is saying that you decide in 5 minutes, 10 minutes, 15 minutes the fate of the guy. So I think it's important in that 15 minutes what you communicate. It doesn't mean that you need to use a flowery language, but you should be able to effectively communicate to the people what you want to say. It's a sort of an elevator message. You are going with your Director General in the elevator. He says, what do you do? You should be able to tell you in few seconds what you do. It doesn't mean that you need to have a command over the language, English, but you should have the clarity of thought. I think, you need to have a self-belief, the confidence on you. Do not be afraid, that your English is not that great, but you will not be able to communicate. It's a wrong thing. There are many people who have succeeded with a very average English, provided they are able to communicate well. But I think, if you have any deficiencies, please improve. Communication in the current management world, especially your job is very much become easy because you use a stack social media, which is all very cryptic English, because we come from a old school of thought. We may not encourage it, but that is the reality of life. So nobody is worried about the verb and the adverbs and the articles. When I was not writing da, ye, my boss used to correct, you have to write the, but nobody writes they and all that. So, but you have the advantage, but use it to your advantage. Strategic communication, global communication is important. Why India is being said, we are the second largest English-speaking country in the world, but we are not able to utilize it because there is a gap between what you learn English, what the industry wanted. Right? Why call centers have failed? You speak English, but whether German is able to understand your English, that refinement, accent, and the diction to the needs of the customer is very important. What is it I am trying to say? Please focus on customer. Customer is not confined to India. Customer is confined to the global world. It's a globe is a village. World is flat. Please remember that. I think, that's what you need to look. You are not serving Tughlakabad. You are not serving South Delhi. You are serving globe. I think, that's a reality. So communicate to the right people at the right place. I'll just give you one example. 1982, United Nations Development Agency has circulated to 120 United Nations countries saying one-line questionnaire, ask them to submit their answer. Say, what is your honest opinion, the shortage of food in the rest of the world? What is your honest opinion, the reason for the shortage of food in the rest of the world? Please offer solutions. There was no response. Western Europe, that is UK, Germany, France, all that, could not understand the word shortage of food, 1982-83. And Eastern Europe could not understand that somebody asking their opinion and for offering solution. It was under the communist world. Nobody could talk, no freedom of speech. And Africa could not understand the word food because Ethiopia was serving a famine and food was dropped from the first aid from the air. They thought God is sending something. And the Middle East, Palestinians could not understand the word solution. Even today, Palestine-Israel is not resolved. It is one of the longest pending issues like Kashmir. And Asia could not understand the word honesty. Okay, and America could not understand the word rest of the world. Okay. So, till George Bush became the president, he did not visit Junior, did not visit any country other than Mexico, like visiting Bangladesh or Sri Lanka or Nepal. So now everybody knows where India is. Okay. So you are fortunate. You are in the right time, at the right place. This is what is the advantage India has? You. You are the young leaders. We didn't have that advantage. You have that advantage. Not only technology, not only liberalization, but you are the young dynamic population you have, what do you call the dividend or whatever it is. But I think you have the advantage. Please utilize the advantage to gain the benefit out of it, not materially, but even otherwise. I think, that is the message I want to give. So understand the global language. Don't understand, just talk. Globalization is important. Understanding global principles, working as per the Indian concepts and ethos. Last but not the least, hardwiring the soft stuff. There are 5 I said. One is organization is hero. Your institute is the hero. They may produce many good corporate managers. Number 2, personal winning attitude. Number 3, team learning and sharing. Number 4, strategic communication. I think corporate world communicate to the right people at the right place at the right time. Number 5, I don't want to put it in a jargon. Please translate your values into actions. There is no point in saying I have values unless you demonstrate it. This is a great value this institute has demonstrated today, calling me and talking to you, sharing the experience from the corporate world. What business is looking for, what industry is looking for, what recruiters are looking for, or what is a senior manager, business manager is looking from the younger population, from youngsters like you. This is what is important in life, sharing and learning from each other. So I think you are the leaders not only for today, but tomorrow. Before I close it, just answer me. There is no free lunches, you know that. Tell me which organization produces maximum cameras in India? Kodak, Canon, Nikon, Canon, Sony. Somebody said Samsung. Can you get up, please? You see, when you're talking about cameras, thank you, please. When you're talking about cameras, mindset, Nikon, Canon, Sony, Kodak, all that, right? But Samsung and Nokia, earlier Nokia, today it may be Samsung. They are not they are in mobile, right? But they produce cameras. So that's what it is. Because tell me, there is one more thing. I think, you use this not today when you start doing marketing. What Apple did to Sony, Sony did to Kodak. Understand? What Apple did to Sony, Sony did to Kodak. It's a very interesting marketing case and a strategic case. What did Sony was famous once? Walkman. What is Apple did to Sony? iPod. Sony could have done it. They are specialists in entertainment, but they never thought that IT company will come and steal them, right? And what did Sony did to Kodak? Digital. Kodak said it's only film, but they went to Kodak and they killed it. What does it mean? It is not a competitor intelligence which is important. Please be aware. It is the competitive intelligence which is important. So I put it in a simple word. Today, how many typewriters you have in this institute? Have you seen any typewriter? 10 years back, if you see now, you would have seen only two brands, Remington and Godrej. So today, Godrej used to say 51%, Remington used to say 51% market share. We don't know what is true. Okay, but now both have vanished. When you are very narrow-minded, you are looking only what you perceived as a competitor. But today's technological changes, environment, whom you do not consider competitor today may become your competitor today, you may vanish you. So I think it's important. You need to have a big picture. You can't just see Pepsi versus Coke. Tomorrow, who knows? There may be another tonic drink which comes, which can vanish everything, So I think, it's important when you are looking as a management students, don't look only from a today's perspective. You need to think about tomorrow's perspective. That is seeing the big picture. Some people can see it, some people cannot see it. Most of the companies have perished, though they have done extremely well, because the lack of foresight, lack of leadership. I think, that's important. We need to bear that in mind. So to conclude, there are four kinds of people. People who watch things happening, people who do not know what's happening, people to whom things happen. But distinguished minority like you are those who make things happen. I wish you are one of them. Wish you all the best in your curriculum and in your stay.